Hey everyone, it's Laura. Welcome back to the Purple Pumpkin. Today we're preparing for first frost. It's coming. We live in Connecticut, zone 6, and we have some pretty yucky weather on the way. We're expecting to dip into the 20s in the next couple days, which is crazy because it was just 80 this weekend. But there's a couple things I need to get done to prepare for that. So that's what we're doing today. So first up, I'm addressing these containers that I have. The big purple pot here, I'm going to pull the aster out of this and the pumpkin as well. They are perennials and they're pretty much done blooming. So I'm going to plant them out in the garden. And then these dusty millers are probably going to die with the frost. I'll just get rid of those. I think I'll leave the alyssum for now. And there is like a little ivy in there and a Virginia creeper as well. Those should be fine. And then I'll try to find something to put in the middle. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these ivy plants. I think I'll probably leave the cauldron one and I'll move the one that's in the bottom. I'll probably use that in some of the other containers. Maybe I'll put one up in the window box. I will have to cut the sweet potato vines out of this one, but I think instead of getting rid of these, I think I'm going to try to cover this for the frost. I just love this little window box so much, and I would love to get a little bit more time out of it if I could. So I'm going to try that. And I am going to attempt to overwinter this Mona lavender. So I'm going to clean it up, cut it back, and bring it inside. And then as far as the other hanging baskets, I have a calibrachoa and a petunia. Those will both die with the frost, so I'll just get rid of them now. I don't really like dealing with them when they're like dead and brown and mushy. That like grosses me out. So I will just throw them into the compost now. Okay, I pulled the ivy out of this purple pumpkin. I think I'm going to move the pumpkin to the other side. I think it'll just be better for foot traffic. And also, I have an ivy over here that's in the ground that I put in temporarily, just kind of as a holding spot. But it needs to go in a container. So I'm going to move the pumpkin over here, I think, and put the ivy in there as well. Okay, so that's done. I moved it over here and I got the ivy plant in there. I did leave the lobelia that was in there because it's kind of still going strong. So I've got the lobelia in there and the ivy. I will have to kind of tie some of these things up. They're just kind of sprawled out right now. But I also have a clematis that was like right in front there that I just moved back behind the pumpkin. And that should be fine. They like to have shady roots, so I think it'll be fine right there. And I will get them tied up and we're good to go. On to the next thing, which is going to be this Super Bina whiteout that's in the cauldron planter. I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but I had a really hard time finding this plant at the beginning of the season this year, or at any time during the season. So I'm going to attempt to overwinter it. I don't know if the life cycle is any different than like a regular verbena because it is a proven winner's Super Bina. And I know that sometimes their plants are sterile. I don't know if that has any effect on how they overwinter. But I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to cut it back and put it in a hanging basket and hang it in my bay window for the winter, and we will just see how it does. Fingers crossed on that one. And I do have this one other invasive plant that I need to get out of the ground. This is a euonymus. It's supposed to be semi-evergreen. Last year, it didn't really hold on to many of its leaves, but I'm hoping that it will this time. So I'm going to move this into the big purple pot because it needs to come out of the ground and hopefully it will provide some green during the winter. Okay, so I got it moved into this big purple pot. I think it looks fine for now. The alyssum is still in there. That can handle like a slight frost, and it still has a little bit of purple on it, so I'm going to leave it. I think I might take some of the ivy from over there and put it in as well. But let me just tell you why I bought this plant to begin with, because I know euonymus is invasive. I don't think I knew that when I bought it, but I have someone in my neighborhood that has one of these, and it looks so cool. They have a stump in their front yard. It's rather large. It's like 3 feet tall, that they dug a hole out of, and then they planted like a wintergreen euonymus in there. And the way that it looks together, it just looks like it's like actually the tree part of the tree. It's really cool. So I'm going to see if I can get a clip of it. I'm not sure if I can, but I'll see if I can get a clip of it and insert it. But that was the idea when I bought it. But the stump that I have is just not big enough. So it's just been shuffled around a lot. But hopefully it'll do okay in here, and then I'll figure out what to do with it, next year. And then another major thing that I need to kind of rush around and get done before the frost is to save any seeds that I want to save. Otherwise, I risk them getting wet and kind of mushy. I started saving seeds last year, and it's really easy. I'm going to make a separate video just going over my seed saving process and all that. But this is just to kind of give you an idea of what they look like, the little seed pods. So if they're not dried out, usually I will just snip them back, and like the whole stem, I'll just snip back, and I'll just put it in a paper bag and let it dry out for as long as it takes, a couple weeks usually. And then I can usually shake loose the seeds after that. So I'm going to do some seed saving and get that done. And then the last thing that I want to do is I have to put my hose away. I always forget to do this, and then my hose freezes, and come springtime, I am in bad shape. Every year I have to buy a new hose. Anyway, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it all emptied out so it doesn't freeze, and I'm going to get the hose put away. And I think that's probably going to do it. There's not a whole lot else I can do. I could cut back some of the ageratum, some more of the annuals, but I think I'm going to let them have a little bit more time, see how they get through, and deal with it maybe in a week or two, see where we're at then. So that's everything for today. I will be making a seed saving video next, so hopefully y'all will come back for that. I thank you for joining me in this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!